How to retire rich in America using the 401k, our most powerful wealth building tool that we have at our disposal that almost all employers use, and that is a huge benefit to Americans. This is how we can all retire multimillionaires as long as we use the tools at our disposal. So typically, we have two different options. 70% of employers nowadays offer a Roth option. All of them almost offer the traditional 401k. So the traditional 401k is tax advantageous, meaning it is pre-tax basis money. And we'll get into that a little bit more in a minute. The Roth 401k option, which I personally use, and I will show y'all my portfolio a little later in the video, so make sure you stick to the end, is where you pay taxes on that money up front, but then you do not get taxed on that at the end. So we will go over that, like I said, and I will show you my personal portfolio. But first, I want to thank you all for joining Freeman Finance and Crypto, where if it makes money, it makes sense. I go over all types of finance videos, 401k, retirement, stocks, and cryptocurrency. So make sure you please subscribe, like, comment, and share, and check out my channel. It would be greatly appreciated. So comparing the two different types, the traditional and the Roth. The traditional is pre-tax dollars, okay? The Roth is post-tax dollars. So you will pay tax on that money the year you make that money. Both of them have the same contribution limits. In 2024, the employee can put in $23,000 into both of them at the age of 50 years old or under, but 50 and over, you have what's called catch-up contributions, and they let you put an extra $7,500 in there. So that could be up to $30,500 that you put into your retirement at that time. So let's look at the example, how they break down. So for traditional, say a $50,000 a year income, and you contribute $5,000 to that. Okay, that's a lot of money for most people. So if you had a $50,000 income and you did pre-tax, that $5,000 you put into your 401k would come off of your income for that year. So your income, your taxable income, would be $45,000. So that's a $5,000 difference in income. So say you're in the 20% tax bracket, just to keep things round. That means you would save $1,000 in tax liability for that year. Whereas if you were in the Roth 401k option and you made $50,000, you would be taxed on $50,000, therefore costing you an extra $1,000 in taxes that year at the time for doing post-tax contributions rather than pre-tax. But the real kicker comes in when you want to withdraw that money. What do you actually have? So, assuming the same tax bracket at retirement, if your traditional portfolio was $500,000, you would pay $100,000 on that money at the time of withdrawal. Let's look at the Roth option. Assuming the same tax bracket, same scenario for both of these, at retirement you would pay a big goose egg, $0 in taxes. That $500,000 portfolio would be yours. No paying taxes on it. There's no way they can change that. And where this is really advantageous is because taxes don't typically go down. And the more our government spends, the more they're going to have to raise taxes to compensate, keep these other programs going, Social Security, all this spending. So I would rather pay the taxes now and not take the risk of them raising taxes on me later at retirement when I need the money the most. Well, let's go over a few scenarios now. These are all using the same number values. The only difference is the age you start investing. So we have on the left here a 25-year-old starting investing, the middle a 30-year-old, and the right a 40-year-old. All of these examples are with a $50,000 a year salary, assuming a 3%, which is basically how employers raise you, to keep up with inflation. This is contributing 10% of your salary and assuming no company contribution. Most companies do offer a contribution, so that would be a cherry on top. This is just showing the power of the 401k and compound interest. Each of these retirement dates are set at 65 years old. So the 25-year-old that put this money into his account and started investing 10% of their salary at age 25 would have $3.1 million at retirement. That means you're retiring a multi-millionaire. Everyday people can do this. This is not voodoo magic. We can retire multimillionaires. But let's say you started 5 years later at 30 years old. That would be almost half the amount you have at retirement, 1.9 million. So you've cost yourself 1.2 million over just 5 years of investments. That shows how much the initial 5 years grows towards the end of the retirement. You can see here the curve, how your first 20 years it's kind of slow, but at the end that compound growth really helps out and pays dividends when it comes to your return. Now let's say you don't start investing until you're 40 years old. Okay, that would be all the way down to $640,000 that you have at retirement. So if you're watching this and you're 40 years old right now, just invest a little more. Invest more of your income. Try to find a side hustle. None of this is financial advice. This is just personally what I would do. But the power is in starting as early as possible. So now I want to go over my personal retirement plan. Over the last 6 years, I've been investing as much as I possibly could into my retirement plan. My company also matches 9%. I'm very blessed with that. And I just want to go over what these numbers look like. These are three different scenarios that the brokerage that my company uses is actually Fidelity. But so this is the first estimate. And so this is saying I will have approximately $104,000 a year at retirement. And this dark blue right here is Social Security. I do not want to count on that. I do not want to count on that. So this estimate is significantly below average. So this is saying it's a 90% confident rate. It'll at least make this. But this is if the stock market significantly performs average. So this is the most conservative estimate. Okay. The next estimate is if the market just performs below average for the rest of my life. I will potentially have $150,000 at retirement. Okay, so this is a very good number. I'm not showing any of this to brag, anything like that. I'm just showing the power in investing and compound growth throughout the lifetime of your career. Because we all want to be able to retire comfortably and we all want to be able to live the American dream. So this is below market average, saying that 75% of the time, basically, the market beats these estimates. So the last one is saying I will have approximately $250,000 a year at retirement. And this is just with average market conditions, okay? So 50% of the time, this will work out. So 50 out of 100 market tested scenarios, my portfolio will at least perform this well. So I might be ahead of this, I might be below this, but I'll be somewhere in the middle of the three slides that we just went over. And this just shows the power of investing. I would invest as much as I can, and that is what I did. I invested coming out of college. I did not have a lot of money. So whenever I got a job, I put as much as I could into the 401k because I was broke before. So I lived like I was broke after. And then with raises that come and promotions that come, your lifestyle starts to increase and stuff like that. But it's a little bit of sacrifice later that pays dividends down the road. And so, everyone, I want to thank you for joining Freeman Finance and Crypto. Please comment. Let me know what your 401k look like, what your investment plans look like. I like to talk about crypto a lot. I don't rely on crypto for my retirement or anything like that. I rely on my 401k for retirement, and everything else is just kind of the cherry on top. So, again, thank you for joining Freeman Finance and Crypto. If you like this, please subscribe, comment, tell me what else you would like to see, and I appreciate everyone joining. Thank you.